All you need in order to be able to set yourself up for accountability is to ask 3 questions. And I'm here to share what those 3 questions are. People often talk about accountability as if it's something that just clicks like this. And yes, it is, and it can be when done correctly. However, when done incorrectly, it can actually be detrimental to your progress and your results. Okay, so what is accountability? It's taking ownership, essentially, and responsibility for your desired result. Putting yourself on the hook for whether this thing fails, or succeeds. Making yourself liable and answerable for the results and the process. Also, making yourself accountable and liable for any failures, wins, or redirections, as I like to call failures. So without further ado, let me tell you those 3 questions that you need. Because you know me, I like it quick and simple. First question is, what level of accountability do I need? Are you the type of person who you can be accountable to yourself and you will never, ever give up on that dream, on that goal, even when the going gets tough? You know, there are some people who just need to tell themselves that, listen, Tanya Rose, I'm getting this done and I am going to get it done, and they will get it done. Are you that type of person or are you not? Second type, do you need a group for accountability? Do you need, a group of people with different skills, different sets of results within their life, within their businesses, different expertise to be able to advise you with? The third type is one-on-one accountability. That's when you have an accountability buddy where it's just you two. How often you speak is up to you, but it's just the two of you. No one else is involved in this accountability, and you hold each other liable for your results, for what you said you were going to do. Number 4 is a coach. There's so many coaches these days for pretty much everything. So you can find a coach related to that specific goal if that's what you really wanted. And lastly is co-working sessions or co-working groups, co-working spaces. That's also a form of accountability, and you can use that, especially specific to a certain goal or a certain project. Maybe you go to a particular co-working space for every Thursday for a month just because it evokes your creativity and your goal is to create a masterpiece or a book or whatever it is that you might be working on. Sometimes it's just a one-off thing. Maybe you just need an online Pomodoro. These days there are so many companies and people who are doing this for free and also for paid ones. I think there is something called maybe Tomato or Pomodoro.com where you can just log on and you have an accountability person who's also working on a Pomodoro, which I've spoken about before. This is a set number of times. Sometimes it's 50 minutes, 50, where you focus, don't talk, don't do anything. And then you have a 10-minute reward time or a 10-minute chat. Have a look at one of my previous videos, which I will link up at top, however YouTube works these days. I know how YouTube works. I'll link it right at the top there so you can have a look at what a Pomodoro is and other ways that you can enhance your productivity. The second question is, how often do I need to check in with my accountability buddy, group, coach, whatever it is, whatever you've decided for that first question? So what level of accountability do I need? Step 2 or question 2, how often do I need to check in? Is it twice a day? I did a productivity boot camp where we were checking in with each other morning to say, this is what I'm doing, and evening to say, this is what I'm doing. That was heightened peak accountability. Now I have an accountability buddy. Well, actually I have 2. I have one group that I meet every single Wednesday. We check in with what we've done, we problem solve together, and then we say what we're going to work on. And I have a one-on-one accountability buddy that I check in with every Sunday or once a week at least to say how far we're at, what we're working on, and same sort of thing. So that's the second question. How often do you need to check in? Is it an every day? Is it an every week? Is it a phone call? Is it voice notes? Is it text messages? And the key with all this, please be honest with yourself. Okay, so now you know what level of accountability you need. You know how often you need to check in. So then the third and final question to ask yourself is, how do I need my accountability buddy or group to speak to me? There are some people, right, who need someone to call them up on their BS, be like, no, you're talking shit, that's not you, or that's not right, nope, or no, you're talking rubbish. Like, you are lying to yourself, you are hiding from something. Sometimes people need to be called up on it. I'm one of those people. I need to be told direct, because I don't read between lines. I don't dance around stuff. Like, my mind just decides to think direct. I sort of think how they stereotype men's minds. Sometimes I think like that in terms of just straight and direct, or A to B. So I'm not going to be, if you're like, oh, but do you think maybe? No. Tell me, Tanya, you're bullshitting. And then tell me why you think that, and then we can discuss it. Although I might knee jerk for a minute, but Anyway, I digress. Do you need them to call you out on your BS? Do you need them to be really, really, really direct with you? Do you need them to motivate and encourage you? Do you need them to be gentle with you? Do you need them to say, oh no, it's okay, next time, you'll get it better next time? Just being genuinely honest with what it is that you need will help you. So those are the 3 questions. This is a really quick video if I didn't mention that. Number 1, what level of accountability do I need? Number 2, how often do I need to check in with this accountability level? And number 3, how do I want my accountability buddy, group, person, people to speak to me? And literally, that is it. So if you haven't already, while we're going through the video, this is your invitation to ask yourself the questions and go through the questions, then get started with your accountability for whatever it is you feel like you are slowing down on. 3 things I want to remind you. Number 1, be honest with yourself. You know what it is you need, and nobody else is going to know that. Nobody's going to know what it is you truly need in order to be kicked up the backside, as my Auntie D would say when I was young. Kick up the backside. Oh, I love you, Auntie D. The second thing, be flexible. Be willing to change things around. It's all dependent on project. I told you I have 2 different accountability structures at the moment. In fact, I think I have a 3rd one coming up soon. And they're all for different projects or different conversations. So it depends on what it is you need that accountability on. But be flexible and willing to change around as and when you need it. At one point, I had a group every single day. Now I have a group once a week, and I have a person every other day or once a week, depending on what we're working on. And the 3rd and last thing, be curious. Ask other people, what are you doing? How are you so successful? How do you stay accountable? How do you stay disciplined? How do you stay consistent? How do you smash your results? Ask them and find out what they do. And if anything works for them, that sounds like it would work for you, I encourage you to try it. By the way, I forgot to do my little dance. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell, because Tanya Rose is BACK. I'm just having fun. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been helpful. Now go out there and feel free to leave a comment. Maybe someone might comment and need the same thing as you, and you might meet a new buddy based on that. And if you don't want to comment, you don't have to, but I would love it for you too.